So today we have with us Dr. Ajith Kumar, who is the Chief of Emergency Medicine at Travancore Medicity, Kollam, Kerala. Dr. Ajith, welcome to a National Dynamic Medical Student Summit.
Yeah, thanks, Sajjan, for the introduction.
Right. So, Dr. Ajith, the entire summit is mainly aimed, and the intention of the summit is to give the students the practical aspects of, in this case, emergency medicine, so that as a career, and so that they can make an informed decision on what they want to take as their career option. So that that's where we would like to discuss with you to understand how you have been in this particular field and your experience, so that they can make an informed decision.
Yeah, sure, I can help you with this guiding students how to about the career in emergency medicine. I can surely do it. Yeah.
Got it. So, Dr. Ajit, see, emergency, I think when you took up emergency, I think it's very nascent. It was not yet much heard in India as a specialty, and still it's growing. So, no, the first question is, why did you take emergency medicine as a specialty? And because at that time, I think we didn't had any information about emergency medicine. And how did you make that decision to get into emergency medicine, Dr. Ajit?
Yeah, actually, my entry into emergency medicine was more of an incident one, just because I got an option. Actually, I entered
Mhm,
emergency medicine. I thought it's more of a jack of all trade. You can
mhm,
see all kinds of cases. You'll be able to manage all kinds of all varieties of cases. You'll start loving the field once you enter into emergency medicine because it's a very dynamic area. You get all sorts of patients, right from the neonates to adults to geriatrics. You got to see a lot of cases. You will be trained and skilled in a lot of procedures, and definitely these procedures will is going to help you to save more lives. And the kind of training you receive in emergency medicine, you will be you will develop your leadership skills, your communication skills will be commendable, and
mhm,
you will get a lot of interpersonal relationships along with your subordinates, your seniors, with almost all the departments in the hospital. You will
mhm,
have communication, and you will be in good rapport with all these
mhm,
departments.
mhm.
So definitely, once we start working, even though your postgraduate life is going to be a bit hectic, you'll start loving the dynamic environment, which is not there in any other specialty.
Okay, got it. So, but no, being in this particular specialty for so long years and being the chief of emergency medicine, what is in the pros of being an emergency medicine specialist?
Yeah, see, so as with any department or any field, there are a lot of advantages and pros and cons with emergency medicine as well. Okay, so one of the major advantages, you don't get bored of. You got a wide variety of cases, as I already said. You get start getting patients from neonates to
Mm-hmm,
adults and to geriatric patients may present. You may have the same room where the patient may present with simple common cold to MI, stroke, trauma, or pregnancy. So you got a wide variety of patients. You don't have to be bored of seeing the same type of cases. Every patient which is going to present to ED is going to be different, and it will be challenging.
right.
And you'll be trained in a lot of procedures. It could be intubation, central line, arterial line, lumbar puncture, doing simple suturing, splinting. So you've got a lot of n number of procedures which can be done in ED. So you'll be
Mm-hmm,
trained in all, trained and you'll be competent in all these skills. And coming another major advantage is, working in emergency department is all about teamwork. So you got a huge bunch of staffs around you. You got your nursing staffs, you got your senior resident, junior residents, or you got your other subordinates working along with you. So there's a
mm-hmm,
large number of people around you to support. So it's more of a teamwork rather than an individual show. And another major advantage which no other department is having is the flexibility in duties. So even though emergency medicine is deemed as an stressful and an environment, with the flexible duty schedules, the duty schedules will be prepared pre-prepared even a month ahead. So you can
mm-hmm,
plan your personal things as per the schedule. Or if your team is quite flexible, you can make an exchange of duties. Instead of having a hectic schedule, you can have your personal life.
mm-hmm.
So the flexibility in duty is one of the major advantage. And another major advantage is once you leave the ED, you don't have to worry about on calls.
Mm.
When you are on the floor, you have to walk, but when you're out of the department, you're free. You're completely free. So that is a
Right.
major pros which I see with emergency medicine. So coming to the cons, see one of the important issue with the emergency medicine is the amount of stress which we take. See,
Mm.
most of the patients who are going to present into the ED is going to be acutely ill, and even if you do take your all your efforts, these efforts may not be rewarding. Sometimes you may have to break a bad news to the patient, which may
Mhm.
include the death, so which may not be a pleasant experience. And in a country like India, where every second a doctor has been threatened by the mob, it's always a stressful environment working in the ED, in a dynamic place. You don't know what is going to come next. So it's
Mhm.
definitely a stressful one.
Mhm.
And another major stress which I see is number of night duties. So, I would suggest you to keep your number of night duties to 6 to 8, 8 per month. But sometimes it may not be possible in a country like India, where physicians are in shortage, infrastructures are poor, where we may have to work more, and that is going to add a lot of stress onto us in the long run. It can
Mhm.
result in a burnout and early retirement. This is one of the major issues which we see in emergency medicine, but we can control it if you have your duty schedules and your amount of duty hours to be fixed, or in a controlled way. And another major concern is medical legal cases. See, we'll go to see a lot of medical legal cases. Some of the hospitals, they have a medical legal advisor or a person who go for court duty. But even though you may be summoned to the court as your treating physician or a primary care provider. And another major, it's not exactly a disadvantage, but since emergency medicine is all about teamwork, you need your supporting team backup. Even if you do your complete work, saving life, but you need to have a continuity of the patient. You may have to work in a tertiary care center to provide a comprehensive care to the patients. So
Mhm.
that is a kind of bit of a disadvantage, but that doesn't. But you can practice emergency medicine in any kind of hospital. But if you want to give comprehensive care, you need to be in a tertiary care center. And another disadvantage, emergency medicine is not for one who practicing GP.
Mm.
Emergency medicine is for people who want to work in a dedicated center, not work a GP practice.
Got it. So I think very well, no, with very specifically, you have mentioned the pros and cons of emergency medicine. Now, looking into all these pros and cons, for whom this particular career specialty could be an ideal option.
Yeah, emergency medicine is I will be ideal for those people who are adrenaline junkies, who love to face some challenges, work hard,
Right.
be dedicated, willing
Hmm.
to take a bit of stress, be a team player, who has good communication and leadership skills,
Hmm.
and definitely those not interested in GP practice.
Got it. So now, with that, if someone is willing to take emergency medicine as a specialty, what are the super specialization opportunities available after MD, no emergency medicine?
Yeah, see, emergency medicine is a nascent field, and the super specialty in India is very restricted. There's not too much of options. So
Hmm.
presently, critical care has come up. You can go for a DM critical care, and there
Hmm.
are few fellowship degrees been provided in pediatric emergency medicine. So it can come a big way in future. Presently, the super specialization in emergency medicine has been limited to critical care, and critical care seats are very limited. I think probably around 13 seats are available in all over India.
Hmm.
So super specialization with the DM course is limited, but you got a lot of fellowship degrees in critical care and pediatric emergency medicine. You can specialize in those definitely.
Right. So because it's a growing field, we have still a lot of opportunities yet to come. So as of now, critical care and pediatric areas are available for it. So now, coming to job opportunities, what are the job opportunities after emergency medicine in India?
Yeah, see, definitely there's a lot of opportunities for emergency medicine in India. So as I said, see, you already have discussed that emergency medicine is still in nascent stage. Even though
Mm-hmm.
it has started emergency medicine with an full-fledged emergency medicine with an MD degree, even though
Mm-hmm.
started around 2009, 2010,
Mm-hmm.
still only around 41 medical colleges has MD emergency medicine degrees running,
Mm-hmm.
and a few hospitals with DNB as well. But even though there is a lot of corporate hospitals have set up emergency medicine departments, it is still in a very nascent stage, and the full departments are not full-fledged yet. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and as we know, our country is quite rapidly expanding. The government also started recognizing the importance of having an emergency medicine department in all the hospitals to provide a standard healthcare system for healthcare for the patients. So with this in mind, the new NMC Act, which has come for the minimum requirements for MBBS seat, they have made it mandatory that or any medical colleges going for MBBS seat or having an MBBS seat has to open an emergency 30-bedded emergency medicine department in
Mm-hmm.
academic year 2022 to 23. So definitely
Acha.
it is going to offer large placements for any emergency physicians who is going to be passed out in for at least for the next 5 to 10 years. Definitely is going to be large scope.
Wow, wow. Okay. So, okay. So now the new NMC board is mentioning that we need to have compulsory emergency medicine department in every medical college, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Great. So I think that would bring a new change or no, a lot of job opportunity for the medical emergency medicine
Yeah,
as a
definitely,
specialty.
it's going to open up a lot of job opportunities as well as it is a recognition of the department. It has
Of
to
the
be placed in
department.
specialty
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
provide a standard quality healthcare
Mm-hmm.
for patients who is going to be presenting into the ED. So it's
Yeah.
definitely a
Okay.
recognition of this field.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. That's a good thing. Right. So with that, what are the opportunities in abroad?
Yeah, definitely. For opportunities for a qualified emergency physician is abroad is quite large.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of opportunity coming up in the Middle East as well as in UK. Post-COVID, a lot of opportunities have come up. Even though there was some shortage in between, there is some shortage of opportunities in between. But now post-COVID, there's a lot of placement that's coming up. A lot of people are going to UK. So
Mm-hmm.
UK definitely is a very good opportunity for all young graduates. If you are planning for going to abroad or especially UK, you have to pass. It's easy when you pass the MRCAM examination or a membership in Royal College of Emergency Medicine. So
Mm-hmm.
once you start your career as an emergency physician, it's or doing MD emergency medicine itself, you can plan how to study and how to clear the MRCAM examination. So that once you pass your MD degree, you can clear your MRCAM as well. Part A,
Mm-hmm.
and part B and part C. So once you do that, you can directly enter into the core training, or you
Mm-hmm.
can join the national health system in the UK as a registrar, and then slowly enter into the core training. So there's a lot of opportunity for graduates, also qualified graduates in emergency physician abroad.
Wow. Okay. So right. So with that, now what would be the earning potential of an emergency medicine consultant in India
Yeah,
or abroad? Yeah.
yeah, definitely. With the earning potential is for a young graduate or who's a fresh pass out in a
Mm-hmm.
medical college setup will be around,
Mm-hmm.
we can start around 1.5 to 1.5 lakhs. It will be minimum payment which you can expect for an emergency physician even in medical college. If you
Mm-hmm.
are now a corporate setup, it may go up to 2 lakhs or depending upon your designation and your responsibility. The pay may even go higher. There are few places where the big corporates even are paying around 3 to 4 lakhs, but an
Yeah.
average you can expect it around 2 lakhs per month.
Okay. Okay. Right. So that's an average, right? Okay. So now looking into all these things which you mentioned, what is the work-life balance? We see emergency medicine as a very busy specialty. So how do you manage the work and life in this particular
Yeah, see, as I said, emergency medicine, as everybody sees, it's a stressful environment. Yeah, true.
area?
It's definitely a stressful environment when you're on the floor. But
Yeah.
once you go home, you're free, completely free. So definitely you can have a good work-life balance. If you plan your duty schedules along with that, you can plan, you can have a flexible schedules so that you can plan your personal activities according to the schedule, or you can make your duty exchange with your team members. So all those things can be done. So to you can have a good work-life balance if you limit your duty hours, or if you can have a pre-planned schedules. You can
Mm-hmm.
have a very good work-life balance in spite of all having this stress. And always suggest you to do some, make it as a part of your life, doing some yogas or exercise, having a good food habits and lifestyles will also help you to maintain a good work-life balance in spite of all this stressful event. And the best part is once you're out of the ED, you're completely free. So that means you don't have to worry about your phone calls when you're at home. So when you're at home, you're at home. When you're at ED, you're at the ED and you have to be fully dedicated.
Great. So as you mentioned, it's a teamwork. So you and your
Yeah.
colleagues, manage the no show, and once you're out of the hospital, you're completely out of the any calls or anything because everything is handled by the person who is there at the hospital, right? Got it. Wonderful. So now, with that, what do you see the future scope of emergency medicine in next 5 to 10 years? How would this specialty would grow?
Yeah, see, with one road traffic accident taking place every minute, with about 1.8 billion suffering stock every year, with the 2.7 million people suffering ACS every year, within a country like India where the infrastructure is quite inadequate, it is for sure, it's directly visible that emergency medicine is going to play a huge role in building a future strong India. So definitely the future of the emergency medicine specialty is going to be quite bright. And even the government of India has recognized this, and now they have made it mandatory that all medical colleges running an MBBS course has to set up a 30-bedded emergency medicine department by the academic year 2022-23. So that shows that future is always bright for emergency medicine.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so now we got the basic insight into emergency medicine as a specialty. So now what we would like to know is more into your life. How has been your journey? And what we would like to know is from the days of MBBS till now, how has been the journey and your experience in the field of emergency medicine?
Yeah, see, as I said, my entry into emergency medicine was an accident. I was there was those days there was no proper career guidance, and emergency medicine was its nascent stage, and there was no appropriate, feedback or a guidance to get into this.
Mm-hmm.
But once I said, once you start entering into the emergency medicine field, you will start loving it because it's definitely for those people who has adrenaline, people term is adrenaline junkies. For those
Mm-hmm.
people who have to take a bit of stress to face challenges, who has got the leadership skills and communication skills, it's quite important to develop a good interpersonal relationships with your subordinates, with seniors, with almost an entire hospitals, with maybe the consultants or residents, even including other staffs, nursing staff, supporting staffs. Definitely, it is going to be it was a wonderful journey all throughout throughout from my postgraduate days, even though it was hectic. It was a very wonderful experience all throughout, and it's always promising and it's always rewarding when you save a life. You feel more happy.
So, what has been the challenge in the entire career which you have been now? What are one of the challenges?
Yeah, see, the most important challenge which I face is having a leadership skills. You need to
Mm,
develop a lot of leadership skills as an emergency physician, even if you are not in charge of the department. When you are on the floor, you are going to control the complete department. You subordinates, your nursing staff, supporting staff. There will be a lot of people around you. So you need to develop a good leadership and communication skill to control the entire department. When you're on the floor, you're going to control the whole department, not just a single patient or a single staff or a single resident. You're going to control the whole department. So when you're on the floor, you need to have a very good communication, the leadership skills. Instead of having a few differences among with your colleagues or this thing, you will have to work as a team. So to maintain your team, in spite of all these differences, is going to be one of the major challenges we
mm,
face in the emergency medicine department. And you need to know your limitations. not everybody will be an expert in all the skills or all the procedure sets. You need to know your limitations, and you need to come out of it. You need to know when to ask for help or additional support. And without you don't need to be shy away from getting a help whenever it is needed. And you
Mhm.
need to share knowledge. Sometimes your subordinates or sometimes you may have to take up a bit of advice from the nursing staffs or your juniors. They might give you valuable tips which is going to make a remarkable change in your taking care of when you take care of the patients. So these are a few challenges: maintaining a good leadership skills and a teamwork. And another major challenge which I had to face was I had to face two external disaster.
Mhm.
So that was when I was working in another corporate hospital. Even though it is a small hospital which just had a six-bedded ED, I had to
Mhm.
face two major external disasters. One was Putingal blast in 2016. It was a major blast in a temple. And another was a mass RT in 2018. So instead of having just a small ED with six-bedded ED, we could do a lot of, we could serve a lot of patients with the kind of training which we had imparted to our residents and medical staff. Even the six-bedded ED we served more than 100 patients within a
Mhm.
few hours with the support of the entire hospital with other staffs and consultants. But all this was possible because of the kind of training which we got from emergency medicine
Mhm.
and the training which we had imparted to our residents because of our experience from emergency medicine. It was a huge challenge which I had to face through my career as an emergency physician. And another major challenge is going to having and maintaining a good work-life balance in spite of the stressful environment. You need to maintain a good work-life balance and avoid a physician burnout. These are few challenges which I had gone through my career as an emergency physician.
Wow. Okay, we got that. Right. So with that, no, of course, you no handle two major emergencies which you already mentioned in being the corporate sectors, right? Got it. So now, with all these challenges, still, what has been the best part of being a medical, no, emergency medicine consultant?
Yeah, see, as I said, the best part is when you're on the floor or when you're on the department, you're going to control the whole department, which includes your residents, staff, subordinates, other departments. You need to integrate with also. When you're on the floor, you're the king. You control the whole department, and the entire department is going to be under your hook. So
Mm.
definitely, your actions is going to save life. So it's more rewarding and it's the best part of the debate. Even more best part is when you're in the ED, you walk. When you're at the home, you spend time with your family members without worrying about your calls. That's the best part I feel with the emergency medicine department.
Got it. Got it. Great. So now we are almost at the end of the discussion. So with your rich experience of all these years being working as an emergency consultant and handling a lot of cases and saving a lot of lives, I really see that. What would be your word of advice for someone who is looking to take emergency medicine specialty? Uh,
Yeah.
what would you say?
Definitely, a good EP has to need to be dedicated. You need to develop a good observational skills, communication skills. You need to have a good leadership skills. One should know your limitations and never shy away from getting an assistance whenever it is required. And you should be able to maintain a good work-life balance. You need not take too much of stress, and it will affect your career in the long run. So you need to, one should be able to maintain a good work-life balance.
Got it. Right. So, great. Dr. Ajith, I know what I see is you have been very, you entered the field when it was just begun. Okay. I think around 2011, you entered the
Yes.
field. 2012? Okay, yeah, so around 2012, and it was just growing. I think much of us not heard at that time, and you come long way, and, from your postgraduate days in working a lot of multiple corporate hospitals, and you also handled many emergencies, and it really inspires the way you have taken your journey and saving many lives, and still, contributing a lot to the people of that particular city. Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Ajith, for being here today
Thank you.
and giving your insight to the medical students from the emergency medicine's perspective.
Yeah, thank you, Sajjan, for giving me this opportunity to share my views on emergency medicine in this summit. Once again, I thank you for the opportunity.
Right, Ajith. Thank you.
Isn't this valuable to know the career pathway of a specialist? Hear from experiences of 50 plus consultant doctors from across India. Get an insight into 22 plus medical specialties and make an informed career decision which will shape your future. Join India's first of a kind online medical specialty summit exclusively designed for medical students. Visit our website drsajjanacademy.com to know more. Don't miss out on this golden opportunity.